Alrighty, guys.
I'm Ben.
What's up, guys? Evans here.
That's Evans, but it's Benny. Welcome to the podcast, guys, and the viewers as well. Welcome to the podcast. This is the Matchday podcast. You can always find us at YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, all that good stuff. We're gonna review Game Week 27.
Yeah, no, we're going to
Premium?
preview Game Week 27.
Yeah,
we're going to review Game Week 26.
That's right. Okay, so let's do that.
All right, and we'll start up there. I believe Chelsea and Tottenham was the first match from Game Week Match Day 20. Actually,
No, it's 27.
Yeah, it is Match Day 27.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all good. It's early morning here, so
true.
it's okay. I forgive you, Benny. All right, so we had to start off with the Chelsea Spurs. It was at the Stamford Bridge. What's your thoughts on that, guys? It was results 2-1.
Well, that's 2 wins for Chelsea over Tottenham this season, I believe.
Okay.
They've done a double against them. There was some good action there. Giroud looked pretty good stepping in as a striker there, as Abraham's still out there.
Yeah, and Giroud scored a beautiful left-footed goal, right? Like from the rebound, and it was a decent result from them, I believe. I mean, Spurs are really struggling with the striker issues with the injuries right now, and I did predict. Alonso came in as well, eh? What's your thoughts on Alonso returning?
Alonso is a pretty decent player, I would say. I know the time that he was down for injury, definitely Chelsea missed his presence. But I gotta say something about Tottenham. With the striker being out, Harry Kane and a couple other players, Son is out. That was actually an awful performance from Tottenham.
Yeah, of course.
I actually expected Tottenham to actually put up a better fight. The defense was awful. The 2 goals was pretty sloppy passes. And they actually left Alonso all by himself that he scored the second goal. So if I want to be critical with Tottenham, I don't really think they deserve a win in that game. So Chelsea actually got a pretty good win from them.
Yeah, they were stronger for sure. Yeah.
They were pretty stronger for sure. And Tottenham had to actually do better. I understand that, with 2 players down, that shouldn't be the main reason why, they can consider sloppy goals, I would say.
Yeah, well, it's February. Every team in the Prem pretty well is dealing with some injuries now. They're not running their optimal lineup, so you can't use that as an excuse. No.
Oh, absolutely. Because after the game, Jose Mourinho was actually criticizing the players that they have. Most of the players in injuries, and a lot of players have not actually turned up, so he had to use the bench. But if you also look at Chelsea lineup as well, they got some of their players that are down, so that wouldn't be the reason. And like I said, 2 strikers, being out of the game shouldn't affect the defense. You know what I mean?
No.
But yeah, I think in the game, definitely Chelsea actually showed up for the game and they got the win that they deserve for sure.
Yeah, and then like they've been kind of sloppy lately too, right? So they kind of give them a little bit of boost.
Yeah, that's definitely a nice recovery after the Man United loss the week before, and it helps solidify Chelsea in the top 4.
Yeah, and so there was that controversial red card, decision over there, but then they said it was not a red card. What's your thoughts on that? Where Lo Celso steps on Zapocata.
It's actually bizarre. The VAR actually reviewed that incident and
There you go.
still ruled that out.
Yeah.
Had a hard time hearing you there.
So it's very bizarre. It's a very crappy decision from the
Let's just
VAR
relook at
officials.
it ourselves over here. So let's see here the review. We can actually see it.
Yeah, but here we see.
Here we see it.
Yeah,
He gets pushed on number 1. Number 1, he gets pushed on by Lo Celso.
Lo Celso, yeah.
Lo Celso, he pushes down the young fellow. And then after he goes on to Zapocleta, he doesn't get the ball and he goes raid. He goes straight with his bottom of his feet. Right
Yeah,
on the,
that ball is way going in the wrong direction.
I
for where his
cannot
foot's
believe.
Going. Yeah.
I cannot believe that that they didn't give a red card for that.
I don't know. After the last couple of weeks, I think that the VAR is gun shy about awarding a red card from their lair in South London where they do that, but it seems to hasn't kind of.
This is my problem with VAR. I understand the introduction of VAR into Premier League, and I think it's a very good investment. Over the years there have been a lot of things that we miss in the soccer world or whatever, right? But for VAR to actually review that incident and rule the possibility of a red card is very bizarre. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there has to be consistency in the usage of VAR.
See, what I find about the VAR, and then we'll go through because there's some other like horrible mistakes I think by VAR decision. See, some of the decisions are like, okay, so for instance, if it was a handball, you can tell if it's a handball or something, or if it's a red card, you can tell it's a red card, like if it's in the penalty in the box or not. Maybe some of those are okay, easier to make the decision on, but like when it comes to where VAR still has to be, like human has to still make the decision at the end, at VAR.
Well,
so like this one, for instance, in this Chelsea game.
Clearly, there's not going to be a black or white
100%.
Yeah, a red card's always
for red card. But there are so many other things that they had to put in place. Was Lo Celso actually going for the ball? Was he in possession of the ball? Did he intentionally lifted his boot? You know what I'm trying to say?
Exactly.
So there are things that they had to put in place. Try to understand whether that was an intentional foul or whether even though it wasn't intentional, but you were not in possession of the ball at all. And you can.
No, he was nowhere near.
He was nowhere near.
Neither is Zapocleta, but at the end of the day, still the it's the action.
What that baffles me is that after the game, the FA reviewed the incident. They apologized that it was a human error from their own standpoint.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
but there's not gonna be any further charges against Lo Celso.
Yeah, they
Are
won't.
you kidding me now?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. So he's not gonna get any fine. He's not gonna get any ban. So as far as VAR already reviewed the game and ruled it off for a possible red card at the time, then he can walk out free. That's unheard of.
Yeah, like that's why they brought in red card, right, to make those decisions. And it seems like it's not happening. They're still being whoever's in the room miles and miles away and makes these decisions. Kind of like.
I think part of it is because, you got the ref who kind of knows that things get checked by VAR anyway, so they might be gun shy about doing it until the VAR reviews it, but the VAR may not be too willing to issue a red card and affect a game like that.
So even in this one, why did the ref did not go and look at himself what the actual incident was?
You see, this is my own argument.
I know that we complain about the delay in the game and all that, but in this case, I actually see the reason why. He should have went and checked it.
They still have to give the referees 100% right to officiate the game.
Yeah.
I don't mind the usage of VAR, but I kind of want to see the referees being part of that decision.
Yeah, well, the referee is he's at the game, he's on the pitch, he's running with the players, Absolutely. He knows how the game is going.
Absolutely. I want them to go out, take a minute or two, look at the game, look at the incident, and be able to make a decision.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, Chelsea has bad luck on the left side. On the Maguire was dangerous last game for them over there, and then.
I wouldn't give that a red card.
And then now it's the same spot, same location. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's the same spot, right in front of the Chelsea bench. Yeah. Both incidents.
Maguire's incident, I wouldn't give it a red card. I would not.
Oh
Maybe a yellow card, but I wouldn't give that a red card.
Oh, jeez, never mind. Anyway, it seems to be like that bench area. They should try to stay away from playing the ball in that area. They haven't been last two games. 2 red cards are just blown away from there by VAR decisions. So.
Yeah, for sure. I think on that one it's a harsh decision for sure.
Maybe they should reconstruct their bench location. They haven't had good luck in that location. So.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Anyway, Alonso, what do you guys think about Alonso's return? He had a beautiful free kick too that he hit the top bar.
Yeah, that was a
Look at that
nice
one.
strike there.
And then
I'm a big fan of Alonso.
he's a really good. He's a really good fullback, eh?
Absolutely. I'm
He's
a
unreal,
big fan
yeah.
of Alonso. And he's kind of playing a different
I
role
think
now.
I think actually that his return, I mean, just looking at this game, I think that they really need him till the end of the season, and I think he's gonna make that difference for them to keep them in the Champions League.
Yeah, that's...
It's hard to say. I get it. There's a lot of, but I think if he consistently plays and his consistency is there, he made a huge difference in this game. Right?
Absolutely.
Like
Oh, yeah,
massive
absolutely.
difference. I mean, Zapocata was the guy that always used to push up, and I mean, he's not to my opinion, I don't think he's got the speed like Alonso does. Alonso actually has got the height, the speed. He's a guy that can be in the box when you cross the ball, and he's a header. You know, he's actually really, really good, and he can take a shot,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
and which he proved it because he scored a goal in that game, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he helped solidify the back line there too, which has been kind of an issue with them all year.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
yeah, it's one of those games that
Now, another thing is on Tottenham. With this game against Chelsea, kind of prove how important Son is to the team.
yes, Son or Kane. I mean, look at this. Okay, attacking wise, 17.
I will say Son.
17
he
shots.
actually makes a huge difference on Tottenham's squad.
Yes, he does.
He
Yeah.
did big time.
You know what I mean? So he wasn't
Yeah.
in for the game, and there was no creativity from the midfield at all. There was no attack. They made sloppy passes. Like they didn't show up for the game, I would say. And with
Yeah, there seems
Bring
to
the
be
mic
something
back
lacking.
closer to you. There you go.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So
and with his absence in the game, I don't know how much longer he's gonna be out for the game, but
Yeah.
that's gonna be a big loss for Tottenham. And they have some pretty tight schedule going forward. So I don't know.
it's gonna be, it's gonna be something down the line and see how it goes for them. But like I said, 17 shots for Chelsea versus 5 for Spurs. 7 shots on target for Chelsea, 3 for Spurs, and I mean that tells you right there that obviously they dominated the game. I mean overall possession wasn't too bad, 49 to 51%, so it's roughly about the same thing. So
Yeah, that goes back to Evans's point, is that when Chelsea had the ball, they were showing more creativity than Tottenham was showing.
Absolutely.
exactly, yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. Creativity is where it comes down.
If you look at it from a manager standpoint, sometimes I kind of understand how frustrating it could be for managers because Tottenham did not show up for the game. There was no character in the game. The players were so reluctant. Nobody actually ran after the ball. They weren't eager to go for the ball. They weren't putting up a fight. Even though Son is out, Kane is out, but I actually expect other players to put up a fight and show up for the game. I see that creativity and I see that fight more so on Chelsea's stand than Tottenham. And that was actually a very disappointing result for Tottenham. And I can understand why Mourinho was a little bit frustrated. So you wouldn't blame him. I know sometimes the media...
I mean, when is that guy not frustrated?
Well...
Do you ever not see him frustrated? Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one. All right, there's a
Yeah,
lot
we got
of
more
contradiction.
controversy in this one coming up too.
I think this is probably I think this is probably the biggest one. I think the whole week.
Yeah.
Just there's it's
Yeah.
damn. Okay, Burnley and Bournemouth.
Yeah, it was.
Burnley
the
home.
wind wasn't the only thing that was crazy in Lancashire that
So it was
day.
a 3-0 for Burnley overall. It was a really, really tough day for them. There was some contradictions over there because of the first goal that happened to them. It was a corner kick. Came in from for Bournemouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it bounced off one of the Bournemouth defender's shoulder / arm, I guess you want to call it, but it was more like it hit his badge on the shoulder.
Yeah, when you really look at it, it looks like it hits just above the advertising badge there on his left arm.
My question will be, for all three of us here now, what will you consider an arm?
I say if the arm is out from the body, and it's like if it's like close to your body and it hits your shoulder, how is that? To me, that's not. It can't be a handball.
No, that wasn't the rule.
You call it a handball. That's an arm ball.
No, that wasn't the rule.
You know what I mean?
If he
Arm
makes-
ball, handball. Handball is this, right?
No,
So,
if you miss contact with your arm, That's the thing. But where exactly do they consider it to be an handball, or maybe it hit your shoulder? Okay. In this case, the ball actually hit below the badge. The badge wasn't on the shoulder. That's a clear handball.
No, not in this one. Actually,
That's the next one is where it's clearly below
Next one,
the
Oh,
that's
so
badge.
different.
the one that
This,
clears,
I'm telling you, this one, it hits above the badge.
yeah,
it hits above the badge.
the first one hits above the badge,
Yeah.
and then he kind of like it's actually the VAR or even the review that they show is
Yeah.
not that clear, right?
Yeah, there's
So it doesn't really.
it's
it's like they haven't really given the clear like view.
Yeah,
on
this
the video.
highlight video, it doesn't really go into in depth about it as I saw on other
Like have
analysis
a look
shows.
at this one, okay? So like here's the cross, and then you can. It's just see
Yeah.
they don't really give you a clear.
Yeah, they don't. I know, like anyhow.
So
I
that
said
was, and then right after, not long after, there's a contradiction about Bournemouth defender missing the ball, Cook, I believe. He comes out and he misses the ball for clearance, and he hits his arm.
yeah.
See,
so
to
why
me,
wouldn't you award that a penalty?
okay, so I find that I think there was no danger there.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I know. It should be a penalty. It's a really bad defending, and I think that it should be a penalty. I
He
agree.
clearly went for the
But-
ball
but-
to kick the ball out, and he completely missed the ball. And he stopped the ball. He interrupted the movement of the ball with his hand. How can be awarded the penalty? Is my
Because
question.
there was no threat on him near
It
anywhere.
still doesn't matter.
That's if a handball in the defensive zone is supposed to get a
it's-
penalty.
I know.
Yeah, that's,
You see, this is what I don't really
'Kay.
get about VAR. I don't quite get it.
So it's a hand-to-hand period, yeah. Like, but I get that one. Okay, I could see that one because no matter what, if it's a mistake or not, he had the timing to clear it. He had the time and all that. So and his arm was actually away from his body, so it's a handball. The other one where it hits a defender's shoulder, where it's touching the actual person's body, I just can't see that called as a handball. This was actually he hit his actual hand, so I could see that actually if they're gonna call it a handball, but not the first one.
yeah, the killer thing about this one, about the second one here, is that it takes a Bournemouth goal off because Bournemouth went right down the pitch and put
That-
one in. And it's
yeah,
the
that's
referee's worst
ridiculous.
nightmare
That's
that he got
So,
to
so
call.
let's review this, okay? So look at
It's
this.
actually ridiculous.
So there
Yeah.
comes a cross from Burnley. All right, Cook clears the ball, goes on, passes it down to King, I believe, and then goes on to Wilson, passes down to Wilson. A beautiful pass. Wilson makes a beautiful quick run, and then there goes under between the goalkeeper's legs, and there goes a goal. Now when they all of a sudden it gets VAR reviews it, and when the cross was from Burnley,
when Burnley was attacking.
and when Burnley was attacking on Bournemouth, the clearance was in the box, and it comes off
Number 15 there.
20. Is it 20? What's his name?
Don't recall offhand.
Anyways, comes off his arm, and then again, it looks like a shoulder to me. See, like, but it's a silly decision by him. Like, he should have just let that go out. You know what I mean?
It's possible. You see,
But like again,
yeah,
you see that looks like a shoulder.
it was below the badge, and there
You know?
and Burnley did have a guy behind there who would have been in position to play the ball if he had let it go, if it didn't go out, because it's kind of chintzy on that one way or another where that's
Yeah.
going.
So the counterattack that they did and the goal that they scored, it was
wiped
disallowed, and then they given
A penalty.
Burnley to penalty. Damn. Like, I mean,
yeah, that's
see, like, this is how I see it. If they didn't call handball from that spot right there,
Yep.
okay, and then they made how many passes? Okay, let's just count back to when it happened. Okay, there goes the handball. So that's one pass. Oops. Okay, one pass. Let me see here. Let's play the play. Because what I mean is like, okay, there's a point where how far do you call back a handball? Okay, so okay, you don't call handball. That's one pass. 2 passes. 3 passes. 4 passes. Okay, and there goes 5 passes. And then the goal happens. 5 passes. How far do you actually call back an incident and then say, okay, it's fair enough to go that far back for a goal.
Well, you don't want to stop the flow of play to review an incident that may or may not change things. You're going to have to wait until the stoppage in play. And unfortunately, in this case, the stoppage in play was when the goal was scored.
That's where I want to come in from, because at the end of the day, if you look at it, that was a very unfair decision for Bournemouth as well.
Oh, big time, yeah.
Because they walked from the opposition.
Technically from the line. All the way from the line
so
to the other.
If there is any possibility that this guy would have countered the ball from stopping Bournemouth to scoring, they should have done that.
Yeah.
So they allowed the play, and Bournemouth got a goal. Now you had to cancel the goal and award a penalty against them. Come on now.
Yeah, and then okay, so this is how I see it. If you didn't call you didn't call it at that time, and you allow them to go and you don't let VAR, okay, no goal. But then why would you bring it back and then now you give a penalty?
If VAR is going to rule it no goal because of a handball in the opposite box, then that's the rule of the game, is that a handball in the box is the penalty.
but they should have stopped it right there, and then they would have said, okay, VAR review, possible handball, and then that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It should have been right there, stopped at that current moment.
VAR is not going to call in to stop the flow of play.
No.
They're going to wait till there's a stoppage in play to stop it.
I don't know.
So basically now they said, okay, the guys down on the pitch are doing a shitty job, referees, and then we reviewed it, and FYI is actually a handball over there. So too bad for you, shitty luck. But there goes, and they get a lucky day. Thanks for the referee to allowing the handball to continue, you know?
Yeah, but you talk about 5 passes, but it's what, like 15 seconds from the handball to when the goal is scored? VAR, by the time VAR actually looks at that and confirms that it's a handball, the goal's going to be in. It's going to be in. That's just not enough time to do that. And you don't want VAR to say, look, that we might have a handball. We want to look at it. Just stop playing for 2 minutes while we look at it. You don't want that either.
You know, I understand that, you don't want to stop the game. You don't want to stop the flow of the game. But also, on the other side, you got to also, talk about how that will impact the other team as well, right? Because this guy actually countered the ball, and they got a goal. Now you have to disallow the goal that they scored and award a penalty against them.
That's it, yeah.
Oh, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
kicking
the ball. It is what it is.
If it happens at the 18-yard box, there's a potential handball that could possibly be a penalty. I think in that situation, you should stop the ball.
Bournemouth could not have worse day than that. It was really bad.
I don't know, really but for me, I think it's kind of pretty harsh.
Yeah, I don't know when you stop it, though. Every time, like your reasoning, every time the ball flies in and it hits above the belt, they're going to want to have to stop to check handball, and they're not going to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think that they should have given the penalty for that incident when there's 5 more passes. If you're gonna disallow the goal, you don't roam back and go back and say, oh, actually.
Well, that's the only reason why the goal will be disallowed. Right?
Yeah, that was a fine goal otherwise.
So my question is, okay, so let's think about this, guys. Okay, let's think about this. If they did not score that goal, Bournemouth, they went counter-attack, let's say they missed. Mm-hmm. Okay? So there would have been no VAR review. Correct me or no?
They will.
No, there wouldn't have been.
They review every goal, but
they will review
that's just...
Okay, but that's the thing. They review every goal. But they wouldn't have went back to actually review the handball. Correct or not? You see where I'm coming from, right?
I believe it.
You see where I'm coming from, right?
Yeah.
They wouldn't have go back to actually review it.
True.
Because there was no goal. The reason only why they reviewed it because every goal gets reviewed for like if it's a correct goal, like if there was no.
Well, that's the same thing with the first goal. Nobody in Burnley was really calling for a handball on that, but they got it.
Yeah. So you know what I mean? They would have never reviewed it, and they would have been fine. You know where I'm trying to get it?
Yeah.
So them scoring the goal actually backfired them.
Well,
because it's not just that they didn't get a goal; they actually got a goal against, a penalty warned against them, calls them a goal, and then just
if the ball just rolls out and they do a quick throw in, then that's that.
Then that's that exactly. You know what I mean? So hey guys,
well they learned their lesson. Don't score a goal.
Don't score a goal. You just let it be, man. I don't know. Like it's if you see a possible complaint of a handball, just kick it out. Just kick it out. Don't even bother or something.
That's
I don't know. Like play it off and hold on to it. Play the mess. I don't know. Like,
that's kind of
disgusting. Anyway, let's move on. That was a 3-0. And then let's see the next game. The next game was Crystal Palace Newcastle. It was a 1 win for Crystal Palace.
Yeah, it was about as close to a mid-table fixture as we're going to get in the league this year.
I find that Dubravka, I guess that's how you say his name.
Sounds about right.
Dubravka, the goalie,
He made a few good stops here.
he made some really good stops. Yeah, coming from Crystal Palace, and you know what I just feel okay about Crystal Palace is one of the things I noticed for the couple years now. They don't have strikers. Zaha is being rusty this season. Benteke is, I don't even know who pays that guy. like I don't know who.
Hey, remember that's ex-Liverpool player.
Okay, listen. All right, no,
That's Liverpool,
Again.
product of Liverpool.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
that's when Liverpool was struggling. They couldn't buy players or whatever it was. I don't know what they thought.
Who are you happier you got money off of him or Solanke with Bournemouth?
Yeah. Like, look at the header that Benteke does. Like it's listen. I don't know what to tell you, but like he does
Yeah,
not
that
look
was-
like he's a striker.
That was
he
awful.
closes his eye and he goes something like this. When he gets a clear head, like it was a clear head
That was
to
awful.
score a goal, and he, I don't know, like a ballerina player or something, you know, like I don't know, like it's it's sad to see from a striker,
Yeah.
so-called striker. I don't know what to tell you, but anyways, so
It's
such
funny because
look at that poor for
Crystal Palace actually have been getting their win from mostly the midfielders and some of
and the defenders. They're the ones
Yeah.
scoring the goals.
Yeah, Van Arnhold got the goal here. He was out
What
for a
is
while.
Primo doing?
Exactly.
He's had a couple of goals. He scored against United early in the year, too, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
They've had some good contributions from midfielders like MacArthur
Yeah.
And there's some things got to be done on that team because guys, like they're every year battling relegation area. Every year, there's no improvement. Yeah, they're surviving, but then there's no improvement. And I really think it's you could come back defensive reasons too. But if the defenders don't feel that the strikers are like there's any chance of going on, like look at this, Ayew, look what he does. I can't believe he makes them.
Yeah. Well, they're a small South London club, so there's going to be some limited resources there. They
Absolutely.
don't
Yeah.
have the
Absolutely.
big kind of fan base. They're not really perennially in the top flight, and never have been. I think they finished like 8th or 9th a couple of years ago, and I think that was their best top flight finish ever.
Yeah.
So this is this is about the best times to be a Crystal Palace supporter possibly in their history.
Yeah.
Is just kind of mid-tabling in the Premier League and being the Manchester City's bogey team.
Okay, so there's a red card at the end over here by Newcastle.
Oh yeah, well that's just stopping it to keep it from getting to 2-0.
Zaha gets pulled down
Yeah.
I would say that's actually a stupid decision.
like
from
by
Lazaro.
Lazaro.
That's a stupid decision. Your team is already down 1-0. You guys are struggling. Okay, you have to take a red card that will take you out for another 3 games. So
See,
you have
yeah.
to always think about the impact of your decision on the whole team. It's not
Yeah.
just about you.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
If it
about
was a
the whole team.
0-0 or a tie, a tie game or
Yeah,
a win,
if
or a
you were
win.
up 1 or if it was a draw. Yeah.
And right now Newcastle is battling.
Yeah, they're not out of the woods yet.
That's
no.
what I mean. The team is already struggling. We got a couple more games to go to the end of the season, and they are fighting to stay on the league. And you have to take a red card when you already one go down. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And that will impact the whole team.
He
for
took
the next
one
3
for the
games.
team, but I think the decision
stupid
when you take
decision.
one for the team, you have to know that is it worth it or not worth
Absolutely. Take one for the team when you're taking all 3 points. You know
Now-
what I mean?
it? No, is Lazaro a permanent guy? Usually he plays.
Yeah.
Okay, so then probably that wasn't a good choice. I don't know. So we'll see how they're gonna backfill that position for a game at least. So Lazaro's gonna be out. We'll see how Newcastle's gonna do from there. So next game was Sheffield versus Brighton. It was a 1-1 draw. Are you guys surprised with that, or were you think that was an actual decent result from both sides?
I actually expected that result.
Okay.
I do. I do expect that result. Sheffield United have been very impressive this season.
Yeah, they are really good.
I will give them all credit. And Brighton and Hove, this is a different Brighton and Hove from what we saw last season.
Or even just going back to the beginning of the season. I don't think they
Absolutely.
were.
Yeah.
They were rusty. They couldn't find the back of the net a lot of games, and
well, their form the second half of last season was abysmal, and they're lucky they got to stay up. They're looking a lot better this. They're looking a lot more secure this year. They're not there yet, but they're getting close.
And defensively, they got more solid, I think, and I think. Just coming forward, they're not scoring a lot of goals. Neither like Sheffield. Like I said, they're not they're not a team that you're gonna see them ever win a game like 3-0 or 4-0.
No.
But they're a team that will definitely stay tight on defense if they can, and they'll pull off a 1-0 and a 1-0, 1-0 game or a 2-1 or something close, but they're gonna pull it off, and they're capable of holding the D like that, right? So
yeah, they're a scrappy club who can hold the possession, whip it around, and eventually get a mismatch somewhere to create some opportunities.
Your thoughts on them? Are you think they both staying in Premiership?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely.
I think they have the quality.
Actually, I'm expecting Sheffield United to qualify for Europa this season.
It's a tough chase.
I know it's a tough call, but I can't rule them out.
No,
they've been very impressive. I will give all credit to their manager.
One of the least conceded teams, right?
I think they've only conceded 24 goals.
Damn.
So that's very impressive for a team that just came out of Championship. I think they will stay in Premier League, and I think they might make it to Europa League this season.
Yeah, there's a possibility. It depends on how the cups play out, of course, too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But they're contending, and I know the fans had a nice "Que sera, whatever will be, we're going to Napoli" chant against Bournemouth a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
Which goes to show, one, that the Sheffield fans ain't been following the Serie A table.
Sheffield scored only 29 goals and conceded 25.
Yeah.
So only 4-goal difference, yet they're sitting in 7th spot with 40 points, only 4 points away from Chelsea in 4th spot. That is crazy.
It is.
It's only a game and a tie.
Yeah, it is.
So anything can happen in this chase, and you're right. Anyone can get the Europa spot. So
yeah, and I think they got a decent schedule. I mean, they're done with Liverpool, they're done with City. So
yeah, actually, the end of the season looks pretty comfortable for them. Although I find that Sheffield was doing better with the bigger teams than the smaller ones.
Small clubs.
You know what I mean? So you never know. So if they do well.
They also tend to have They also tend to have better form on the road than at home.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. Yeah, so
peculiar. Them and Southampton are like that.
So tie was a decent result for them, I think, guys. Eh?
It was a real good result for Brighton to stay in their bid to secure safety for another year as well. And I'm sure Sheffield would have liked to have gotten a 3, but sometimes you just can't get them all.
I think that's a decent result for both clubs. I think they deserve to get to go away with that 1 point. So, yep.
All right. So next up, we've got
West Ham, Southampton.
Southampton played Villa last week.
Villa. My bad. Oh, I'm going to give it 10-28. Sorry, my bad. All right. Villa. That's right. So Villa was the next one.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your thoughts on this game?
Clean sheet for Southampton. 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Well deserved, I would say.
2 goals.
2 goals, yeah.
Yeah, that second one was a beauty, quite the goal. They're at 90 plus 5. I think Villa was. Their head might have been more into the League Cup final against City this weekend. They might have kind of not been as checked into this fixture as they should have, which is a damn shame because they're in a relegation fight themselves. And if they don't pick their socks up there.
That's the thing.
Southampton staying in the Premiership or what, guys?
Yeah, they ran good. There's 3 teams that are more tragically flawed than Southampton this season.
So.
They'll be fine.
One of them is Villa for sure.
Yeah.
I think Villa and Norwich is probably in that.
Norwich for now I would say is confirmed going down to Championship. I don't think they will make it now.
Yeah. If anything keeps Villa up, it's Jack Grealish or Grealish. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's bread is a great treat. All have EA letters and they all sound different. So, but he is the most important player, I think, on any Premier League side this year because if he goes down, that team sinks like a stone.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, like he's a really big play difference for them. Like he's a playmaker for them for sure.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone's as important to their club this season as he is
Well,
to
if
Villa.
the team is going down, Grealish obviously will be staying in Premier League. I can tell you that right now.
Oh,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's okay. So I do have to say I don't think he's going to go like a United or Arsenal or any of these teams. I think if anybody will buy it, some like Southampton or that kind of clubs.
I excuse me. I think I will argue that. Now, one thing you have to understand is the transfer market is pretty tough.
Yeah.
No club actually want to release their players. There's not enough options out there in the market. Grealish actually is decent that he can get a top 6 club in Premier League.
I would argue that, but
Yeah.
I think so. I think he's good enough. If I kind of want to place him, head on head with a couple players that are in Arsenal, United, Everton, or whatnot, he can get. You can argue him for sure that he deserves to be in one of the top 6 clubs. He's been a key player for Aston Villa so far this season. I know, as a team, they haven't, they are not where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
But he's been an important player for Aston Villa.
yeah, he was and he is. The only thing is sometimes when you go in one of those big teams, there's so many key players that you just get blended in there, right? And
Yeah,
you don't come out as like you're coming out of like for instance. Villa. Like, okay, Shaqiri for Liverpool, sort of like that, right? Like he was bought from Stoke, and then he's not really shining from Stoke.
Yeah,
when he came to Liverpool because the squad is so, full of players.
Oh, yeah, I know. I could go way back there as a Charlton Athletic backer and go to when Scotty Parker got bought by Chelsea and just vanished off the face of the earth. And Parker was like Mr. Charlton.
There you go.
He even got into the England team out of that.
So look at this way, okay? Like, look, Ings wasn't making it in Liverpool, and then look in this game, or in general, Ings been really well doing for Southampton. Do you agree or no? Like he's actually been a key player for them. Like, he missed a really nice shot on the but again, it's a legendary arena, man. Yeah. So like he's actually really done well in this game.
Ings has had a fantastic year for Southampton this year.
Absolutely.
They've had some other, like Ward-Prowse has been fantastic for them.
Yep.
Redmond, who missed this game, he's out for like a month, but he's played well too whenever I've caught Southampton on the tube.
I'm saying Rena has been pretty impressive for Villa.
Oh, they needed to get some veteran leadership after Heaton went down there to kind of keep them going.
Except he doesn't seem to have the speed anymore, like to run back.
Rena is 37 years old.
Oh,
Come on now.
So he went up for 90+ minutes to try to score a goal.
Yeah, the old
They were 1-0 down at the time.
Yeah, we got a quarter kick at 90 plus 5 down 1. Yeah, we'll give it a shot.
There goes the clearance. And
he does a nice punch out there by McCarthy.
But you see, this is where I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? And this is a beautiful pass.
Yeah, that's Armstrong
and
there,
you can see Rena just like jogging. I almost want to say just.
When Reyna got to about the halfway line there, the circle there, he kind of read the writing on the wall. And
he's like, I'm just, Yeah. It's kind of like he knows he give up the season, I think. But he's going to do his best he can, I think, for Villa.
Yeah. Oh, Villa's, Villa's got the big game this weekend.
Do you believe Villa still has a chance to remain in Premiership?
Oh, I definitely think. I think Villa, as long as Grealish stays healthy, I think they'll stay up.
You really think so?
I agree.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, so I guess
there are 3 teams that are more flawed than Villa.
Give me them.
Give you them? Norwich, Watford, and Bournemouth.
Absolutely. I agree with Benny.
You're right. You know what?
West Ham is also very. I think West Ham's more likely to get relegated.
You know
than Villa,
what? I actually want West Ham to jump down. I actually think that this team. I don't think they should, but I think that you know what? Let's bring up some new fresh teams up there. West Ham, for the size of the club they are, and London club, they're not doing what they need to do to stay in Premiership.
Yeah, but do they have the resources to actually stay in Premier League is what the question will be. Does West Ham actually have those players that can keep them in Premier League?
They don't.
That's the thing. So it goes back to the management. Are they going to release money to actually finance the club?
Yeah.
Because that was one of the problems that Newcastle had.
Maybe it's time for someone to buy the club and put some money.
Because it's kind of shitty when all these small clubs that have like say 25 or even less than 25,000 capacity stadium come to
like
Premier
Upton
League.
Park was about that size where they used to play.
And they don't have the money to actually go out there and buy players that will keep them in Premier League. The problem is this, say Newcastle or West Ham, for example, they're the same club that they deserve to be in Premier League. But what is the owners, what is the shareholders actually doing to sponsor the club, to actually finance the club, to make sure that they buy players? Okay, they lost some key players from West Ham. Who did they actually get to replace those guys? Okay, so these are the little things that you have to put in place. When they lost this Anatovic, there was nobody that replaced him in West Ham.
Yeah, and and I think he was a decent player for them.
He was a decent player
You know,
for them.
one of the few guys I felt bad for because that Antonio guy, and then the I really think that Philip Anderson is they got quality, I think, in them.
I
like
think
players.
Philip Anderson will leave at the end of the season.
Oh, he's not staying. I'll tell you that. There's no way. And I really think a club like Chelsea, Arsenal, maybe even Liverpool would go for it, or United. Some of these clubs, they wouldn't go bad, I think, with the purchase of him.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he could, like, I see quality in him. I just don't think that I think he feels that his effort is not being appreciated there because of the results that are coming, right? And I think if he played for another club where he would feel more results coming, on a better consistency level, I think he would have more impact in the game. He would have I think he'd be a way better player.
You as a player, one thing that you will look at is, do you have those help from the team that can bring
Exactly.
out
It's
the best
11
in
guys
you?
on the pitch, right?
You
Not
know what I
one,
mean?
right?
You can't just single him out. He is not just the only player there. There has to be that help. And when you don't get those help, from your back, from your wing, from your all the side in the pitch, if you don't get that help, it's very frustrating.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't get the balls coming to you.
You don't get the balls coming to you. So
If you make the run and you're crossing, but there's nobody there, like it's a natural. You need the natural players to also be there for you and support the
I think he will leave at the end of the season, and a lot of clubs will go for him because he's not gonna he's not gonna be
expensive.
He's not gonna be expensive in the market. He's a decent player that can fit in or blend with the team or whatever. And I'm looking at, say, tops of 35 million or even less than that can buy Philip Anderson to a new club. You know what I mean? So a lot of clubs will actually go for him for sure.
Oh yeah, he'll be in demand.
All right, the next game here was the City. So City versus City, except Leicester and Manchester.
Yeah.
It was a 2 versus 3 in the Midlands, and it.
Thoughts on this game? Because
I felt bad for Leicester City.
I did too. I mean, look at Wardy. Wardy, this guy hits the wood lately.
Well, he hasn't scored in the Prem in since in the new year. I don't think, has he?
Yeah, he's been having a rusty time, and he makes decent runs. He makes the decent. It's not like he's not trying.
No. This is anticipated. He caught Fernandino napping here, and he just rang it off the woodwork.
Yeah, exactly. He makes a really good. He caught the Fernandinho sleeping, and that's it. He makes a nice shot, but doesn't go through. Morez makes a couple nice attempts already. He's been playing lately more. If you guys noticed, I guess that's kind of he's a replacement for Sterling. He's an injury, right?
Yeah, that's part of the fun.
What's the injury that he's got? Do you guys have any updates or anything on it?
Well, he's back. He played Champions League for City yesterday, so he's slowly coming back into the team, which is a good addition to City because they actually missed his presence for the time that he was down. However, going back to that game, I think Leicester deserved that win. There are a couple of decisions that I didn't agree with the referee because they should have gotten the first penalty.
Yeah.
Game
so Leicester, they had a free kick just outside the 16-yard box. Madison makes the free kick, right? And then in a defensive line,
you got De Bruyne
in the box. De Bruyne goes and sees the ball coming at him in distance. De Bruyne just goes like this with his hand.
Yeah, he's got the cowardly hands to the face. Please don't hit me.
Which changes, and you know what, crazy guys? It changes, converts the direction of the ball right after. If you actually look at it, how it's being kicked. When it's being kicked by Madison, and how De Bruyne he touches because he was curving right at the look at that how he was curving, and the direction completely changed for it when
the ball is in motion, your fingertip alone can change the direction of the ball.
Yeah.
Now this is another thing that I don't really agree with VAR because when it comes down to the handball issue at the 18-yard box, one of the key things that they talk about is the distance of the ball
Yeah.
to the hand.
Yeah.
Okay, and when you look at that, the free kick was a direct free kick. De Bruyne saw the ball coming. He lifted his hand to cover his face, pull his head away from the ball.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you award the penalty? But when you go against the penalty that was awarded to City, that was shitty.
Yeah, because what was it? The one penalty ended up happening. It was who made the shot?
I forget who made the shot. Pride got the handball. But...
Oh, right here. Okay, so Goodison makes the shot outside the 16 box. It was a rebound from a corner. He gets the shot, the opportunity to take a shot outside the 16 box, and then there goes I think.
It's Pratt, I believe, who got.
Pratt, he turns away from the shot, and he kind of, as he's turning away, he's off balance. He's actually off the ground the entire time, if you look at it. So he has no balance, and kind of like the arm movement came up, and then he's turned away from the shot, and then he has no complete look at the shot where the ball's going, and it hits his elbow. And then when he notices, he does bring it down, but he had no intention of stopping it. He does not look anything.
But we can't argue that one for sure. That's a clear handball, and that's a deserved penalty.
It is.
Yeah, that's how it's been called ever since VAR got introduced.
Yeah.
But my question is why they didn't award the penalty.
But if you compare, what should be a penalty between the two, if you didn't give De Bruyne's, then definitely you should not give that one.
Absolutely.
However, it was a save, beautiful save by Schmeichel on the penalty.
Yeah, that's the fourth consecutive Man City penalty in the Premier League that they was not converted.
And you know what, guys? I like to see that when the penalty is given, that is not clear, and then it's controversial, and then actually the goalie saves it. It's the best thing I could see happening. It's the best one because you know why? It's kind of like a fuck you. You know
justice.
What I mean? You know what I mean? It's just like, it's actually like, yo, get out of here.
It would have been sweeter if Leicester actually got our 3 points. You know what I mean? So after when they've saved the penalty, I'm also got a winning goal.
It would have made a difference.
That would have been an icing on the cake.
They would have been up 1. Right? They would have been up 1, and then they would have had much more. It would have been a different game, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But that's Leicester. They've not been in good form as of late.
No.
They're winless in 4, and they've only won 2 of their last 9 in all competitions.
You know, actually, what's funny? After when Leicester played Liverpool, that's when their problem began. They started going down.
It does time out around that. Yeah, whenever they had the big 1 versus 2 match up there on Boxing Day.
That's right. That's when Leicester City started going down here. I'm sure a lot of Liverpool fans will like this.
All right. So United, impressive win against Watford.
Beautiful goal from Anthony Martial.
Oh, you're gonna go to the second goal now? You're gonna start from the beginning. Jesus, you can't start from the end of the game to the beginning. Let's review it from the beginning. Fernandez gets a beautiful penalty, and it's a poor judgment, poor coming out.
Foster was a little too adventurous.
Yeah, he comes out today. Fernandez has a beautiful run. Okay.
Yeah.
When he makes the last touch on that ball, he kind of like, even you mentioned that. He kind of makes that touch, and it's like he know he's gonna go down because that touch, what it looks like, he's never gonna get that ball after that touch.
Absolutely.
There's no way he was gonna get that. It was too fast for him to catch it eventually. But he knew Foster's coming. The way the speed Foster was coming, Foster was not gonna stop, and he knew, okay, this is my time. This is my chance.
Absolutely. I think I will start from the great addition of Bruno Fernandes to the Manchester United squad.
Oh, he's doing amazing.
That's a great sign.
He's doing amazing.
I'm not going to overlook that for sure. He made the game, like he changed the game plan.
He's actually putting creative work.
The creativity
is changing.
Yeah.
It's slowly coming back.
Yeah, he's definitely a guy you could build the rest of the team around.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Now, to that goal, this is where I kind of think some goalkeepers don't make smart decisions because even before the counter of Foster, as against Fernandes, his knees were already almost down. He was going for that penalty. He knew for sure that Foster is going to come out. So he played into his hands to get that penalty. You know what I mean? So that's where some goalkeepers kind of make some shitty decision. You know for sure you're not going to get that ball. And you know what the player is going to do. He's up for that game. He played the ball into his hand, hoping to get that penalty. And Foster
Fernandes is with experience.
You know what I mean?
He outbeat Foster.
Absolutely.
With not just, in the current moment, but it also with mentally in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He
know.
was ahead of him.
Yeah, I know. There's a reviewer I saw who said that Fernandez, he knows when to run, he knows when to pass, he knows when to shoot, and he knows when to go down.
Absolutely.
Exactly, yeah.
Absolutely. I think I know what.
Yeah, he's the player that Man United fans have been waiting for since Ronaldo left, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. There was a Dini's goal over there after the penalty is beautiful, but done by Fernandez. Goes and scores a beautiful goal. No chance for Foster to save it. There was a corner kick. Watford gets a chance to actually, and then Dini puts it back in the. It was a rebound. Let's see this again. I believe the rebound was off.
And off Dawson, wasn't it? Or
Let's see here. Okay, so we are. So where does the penalty come? Okay, so I'm sorry. The rebound. The rebound seems to come off of. Yeah. There goes it. So there goes
There
it.
you go.
Van
Yeah,
Bissaka
there
is covering
goes
him.
off. Yeah.
Goes off his shoulder,
Yeah.
but the shoulder is to his body.
yeah.
It was below the badge. I agree on that. And then he goes, hits the post, comes back off the post, and then there goes Dini, puts it in the back of the net.
Yeah, that's no
Maguire
goal.
fall asleep on that one. I gotta
Yeah.
tell you that one. But
Yeah.
regardless, because it was below the badge, it is a handball.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to better talk about Martial's second goal, I think.
Yeah, let's move on. All right. All right.
Yeah.
A tough decision because again, it's when you're shoving, pushing going on in the box, it's kind of hard to like go and call a foul. I mean, a handball on something like this. But anyway, goes on to Martial's goal. He makes a beautiful run.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a nice run. Foster makes a nice first stop, but Martial
Again,
gets the
Foster comes
rebound
out too far. I think he had no reason to come out that far. That's a poor judgment. Like, and then when he came out, there's 3 defenders around him. Okay, when he could have just slowly like make his way back to the net.
Yeah, Foster may be lacking confidence in his back line with the kind of year they've been having, and maybe
Like right there, there's no reason anymore that he should be not back to his net.
Okay, track that back a little bit before Marshall actually getting possession of the ball. Fernandez made a true pass. Okay, there was only 3 players, which is Luke Shaw, Marshall, and James,
Yeah,
in the midst of 5 Watford defenders.
yeah.
Okay,
Well,
and
there's-
Fernandez actually made a through pass in between 2 players, and nobody actually went for the ball. I gotta tell you, Manchester United. Okay, Marshall actually scored a beautiful goal, but I'm gonna take some. I don't want to take the credit out away from Manchester United, but Watford was horrible.
Defensively horrible, yeah.
That was awful defense.
But
Now, when Foster actually stopped
and then
the ball
look at
the
like
first
Greenwood's
contact,
Greenwood's goal as well after.
you know,
Look
there
at that.
was
There's only
nobody.
3 guys against 4 United players.
That was actually horrible defense.
Like unreal.
When Foster was out challenging the ball, there was nobody, no player actually went back to the post to back up his own goalie.
Yeah.
It was an open net. It's for a team that is struggling to remain in Premier League. I think if I'm the manager, I'm going to go back to the back room and yell at them. Like, what in the actual F is wrong with you guys?
Nah. And
Because that was horrible defense. That was a horrible defense.
Defoe, what about him? What do you guys think of him?
You know, for most times in Premier League, I think I've been, one of his favorite. But this last game, I don't know. I kind of think he gave up. I kind of think he's tired. I kind of think
He doesn't seem to come back for defensive support, nothing,
2 goals that Manchester United scored was actually from a sloppy pass that the fellow made. Mm-hmm. And you can see him when he lost when he lost possession of the ball. He wasn't even making any effort to come back to defend. He wasn't even challenging the ball.
I think the scoreline 3-0 was very reasonable for United. They did well. They put good effort. I like to see that they're bringing a couple new kids up, like the Greenwood. You know, I was actually watching an interview on that, and it was it Michael Owen, I think, that he actually mentioned about this, that he knows him from the academy.
Yeah.
And he said that they actually were, we know Rashford and him, they actually believed that he had better potential, or he has better potential to make it than Rashford. Do you know that? Because they were saying that he was actually, they seen him as a natural finisher better than Rashford.
Well, he showed a pretty natural finish on that third goal.
If you ever look at Greenwood's goals, guys, actually, if you go back a couple of his goals, actually this season, he's got an amazing finishing shot.
Yeah, I believe he's
He's a shooter.
I'm not gonna argue that for sure. I wouldn't want to compare him with Rashford because
Rashford's got the experience
what I
ahead of
mean?
him, but I say give Greenwood next season. You'll be surprised how this kid is gonna come
Oh,
up.
absolutely. There's a lot of
He's gonna
potentials
make
in
some
him, for
amazing
sure.
shots.
There's a lot of potentials in him. Also, I'm not gonna rule Rashford out because he still got a lot to develop.
Oh yeah.
He still have a lot of a lot of
young
potentials
players
in
there, yeah.
him. You know what I mean? So they still have some bright futures ahead of their career for sure.
Right.
Yeah, I was reading that Greenwood actually leads Premier League teenagers in goals in all competitions this season with 11. So the future's
that's
pretty
pretty
bright for him.
impressive.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
The guy is an actual finisher, and he doesn't really play. He's recently been playing, on the squad, but he hasn't really played in the beginning of the season, right? But he's definitely doing well. All right, let's move on to the next one, okay, guys?
All right, we
All right, we
got
got- all right, we got
Wolverhampton and Norwich City.
Norwich, your thoughts on the game?
Wolverhampton continue to win games that they're supposed to win, and keeps them in.
That's what gets their 3 points. Yeah.
Yeah, they got their 3 points. They're still in the middle of all the European.
They got a
hoopla.
clean sheet, 3 goals.
Yeah,
3-0 against Norwich. Again, we're talking about Norwich. It's very poor.
yeah.
It's super poor.
Yeah, there seems to be they have switched off the team there. It was a tough loss. They had to Liverpool the week before, and they go to the Molineux here and just laid an egg.
Yeah, I think Norwich is done. I don't know what to say about Norwich, but I think they're done. I think they're going down to Championship.
Yeah, I think it's pretty solid.
It's solid.
Yeah,
that
they're
going down.
it's easy when you're 7 points from safety, and that to be the team that everyone
And
singles out. But yeah.
I was actually looking at their schedule the other day. They're not done. They got some really tough schedule coming up. Whoever watches championship, they'll enjoy them next year.
Well,
Alright.
it will be tougher if they don't lose one or two of their key players. So if those guys are going down to Championship with them, maybe they got hope another couple years to come back to Premier League.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure you'll see people like Pookie and Cantwell and Tete.
You see-
potentially,
Yeah,
You see,
Pookie.
Norwich's problem too is the budget. The owners are not that wealthy. Buying players for them, I think it's an issue. I don't think the players are making big buck right now.
This is something the FA is supposed to look into. Qualifying teams that are coming from Championship to Premier League have to have a certain standard.
But if they do,
come into Premier League,
they have a standard. It's just that they just don't have a higher. They don't have big budget to
so
play.
where would the money come from? If you have say,
Norwich made it through,
15,000
guys.
capacity, okay, if you have a
Norwich made it through.
capacity, it's not about.
They made it through. They got a squad. They
true,
they made it through.
Bournemouth's been up for like 5 years.
And they have him. Don't get me wrong. They're not any
Oh, they're
better
going down.
position.
They're going down this year. I can tell you right now.
Yeah.
Bournemouth is going down this year.
Anyway, there was a clear ball and clear win for Wolves. Moving on to the next round. They're doing well. Norwich is obviously still bottom of the table. Unfortunately, with 18 points, 6 points behind Watford and West Ham, who's standing at 24 points, and 7 points from Aston Villa, which is in the 17th spot, just right above regulation by 1 point. So, all right, let's go on to Arsenal. Beautiful win for them against Everton. Your thoughts on the goals over there?
I think my favorite goal was Richardson's goal.
Richardson? The invincible touch.
Yeah, that deft flick of
Nothing.
And
he gets the
And a
credit.
big celebration.
And he gets credit and the celebration for
And a big celebration.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, that was a beautiful win.
Do
for
you
Arsenal.
actually think he believes that he touched that ball? You know what I mean? Do you actually think that he or he actually did touch the ball? It's just that,
No, he did not.
man,
No, he did not. He did not touch the ball.
do you actually think I would? You know what? I wish I could sit down and interview him. Listen, Come on, be honest. You know, look me in the eye. You know, like
He did not touch the ball.
I would love.
He'll say he touches that ball till he goes in the grave, man. That's a goal.
Oh yeah, it's a goal for life.
That's a goal for him.
But they didn't win, so
No, they didn't. It was a big win for Arsenal. Going into it, I thought whoever won this game could think that they could get hot enough to get into Europe. And where Arsenal got the win, so they've got to be, thinking
it was a
that
tough
heavy.
game. Yeah,
That bumps Everton down to the second page of the table.
yeah. So possession wise, okay, look at this way. I have to say this. Possession wise, okay, I think Arsenal looks solid. Okay.
Yeah.
But possession-wise, Arsenal had 31% to 49 to Everton. Okay, Arsenal had 9 shots on target. Everton had 17 shots on target. 4 shots for Arsenal. The total shots was 9 shots on 9 shots for Arsenal, and 17 shots for Everton. 4 shots on target for Arsenal and 5 shots for Everton. I do have to tell you, I actually think Arsenal can actually really be very lucky that they took this game.
No, but look at the shot accuracy. Kicking the ball and shooting the ball is not just the point. Anybody can shoot.
Oh, for sure, 44% versus 29.
29. So
yes,
anybody can shoot the ball. You know what I mean? You got to also look at the clearance from Arsenal standpoint, because that actually says how well their defenders are. Because that was one of the biggest problems of Arsenal. Their defense have been crazy. They have been sloppy. They fall asleep.
And they are still, because I do have to tell you, like shots in the box were 12 by Everton.
By 8, yeah.
And versus Arsenal had only 8.
Yeah.
Okay, shots outside the box, Everton had 5, and then Arsenal had 1. I gotta tell you, Arsenal are quite lucky to take the win away.
No, I see your point.
You know what I mean? And I can tell you, Everton with those stats, and I get it. The accuracy is not the same. Not every game you're gonna have really good accuracy.
Oh, absolutely.
Arsenal did play home, so the crowd is behind them.
Yep.
Everton is good to traveling, so I can tell you right now, I think Everton they might be on a really good path. Like they might be on a really good path, and they're actually a threat to the European spot. I think they are standing in a pretty decent spot right now on the table as well. So like you never know if Everton might actually pull off I don't think Champions League, but like a European spot probably they have a chance for.
It's going to be tough. They're going to need a lot of things to go right for them. They're going to need, like, Sheffield will have to fall out. Wolves will have to fall down.
36 points, and then it's 5th spot to 41. It's 5 points, guys. That's not much.
But that means other teams will have to lose.
Yeah, and then I agree.
Which is pretty tough.
I agree. But there's key games over there for them, eh?
Well, a big telling for Everton will be this weekend against United, where they're back at Goodison Park. If they can get 3 points from that, they can start thinking,
There goes 2 points. There's only 2 point difference between United and them to the 5th spot then, Depends how the rest of the crew between them do, right? On the table. So, and then they have Chelsea away, which again gives them a chance to go closer to that European spot. Because then they dropping points. These big teams are going to start dropping points if Everton is able to pull a win off.
That's the whole point. If Everton is able to, work
pull those
points,
and that'd be tough, man. There's a really tough games going on for anybody between the 4th. I would say the 4th. Even maybe Leicester has to watch, but
Leicester's been in the form where they got to start looking over their shoulder now. They've not been accumulating points lately.
Exactly.
The rest of the table's starting to catch up.
Exactly, catch up because they're coming up. Like look at this, Leicester's only sitting at 50. They kind of still
safe.
They're 6
clear of Chelsea and 9 of United, but
they're still safe. And then
they've got to start winning. And fortunately for them, they got Norwich this weekend, so that should take care of that.
Yeah. So, 44 points, Chelsea sitting at 4th spot. And then you go all the way down to, Burnley and Everton, who are at, 36 points. I'm sorry, but that's only 5-point difference.
Guys, you gotta understand.
It's only 8-point difference.
Minus this game week 28, we only have 10 games to go to the end of the season.
Yeah, but then you
know
also
what I
have to
mean?
look at the schedules too. If you guys are all like scheduled with each other, till the end of the season.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
And
crazy.
What I'm trying to say is
It's
this.
crazy. United
There is
is
no
playing.
time. There
Yeah.
is no time for clubs now to fall asleep.
No,
No.
You
no, they really
cannot.
have to.
You know what I mean?
And you know what? I do have to say, I think there's gonna be a lot of surprises, eh?
Oh, absolutely.
So
yeah.
the reason why I say this is few things. Okay, Wolves are so between the 11th position to the 4th. These guys are still playing in a couple of the teams are still playing in Europa.
Yep.
Or they're playing in the Champions League.
Yeah,
For
and you've
instance-
also got the FA Cup. Some teams in the FA Cup as well,
Exactly.
which is a distraction.
Exact
Yeah,
distraction.
absolutely.
Correct.
Yeah.
So Sheffield has a really good chance to move up, and because of that, and their schedule till the end of the season actually looking pretty solid.
Yeah.
Like pretty easy, like we talked about. It's not easy, but it's
It's never
should be
easy
a
in this
three-point-
league.
But it should be a 3-pointers, if they do well. Spurs, they're not looking well in the Champions League. Okay, there's a lot of work there, a lot of fatigueness. The strikers are not there. They're very vulnerable. They can actually drop a lot of points, and you know what? You might even see them dropping to the 7th, 8th spot. Chelsea, they actually, I think the only reason why they're gonna remain probably in the top 4, if they do, or Europa spot. The reason why is because there's no way they're gonna go back and beat Bayern Munich, and I think even Lampard might just give up on it, just to secure the Champions League spot for next year, and then start fresh. If you know what I mean, right?
Oh yeah, I know.
Start fresh. So I think that's the only thing that they have advantage on. United still playing in the FA, and they're also playing in the
Europa League.
Europa League, it's
There's a
looking
lot
good
of-
right now.
Yeah, but there's a reasonable schedule ahead of you for the end of the season. There's a lot going on, right? Then you have Wolves, Europa League again, tough schedule in Premier League. It's not an easy game, Arsenal, same thing, Europa, and then they're not looking good in Premier League. So, and let's be honest, the only way they can go go next year probably.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, yeah, the Europa League is a route for Wolves and Arsenal to get into Champions League because it's going to be tough for them to pass enough teams to get into the 4th spot or the 5th spot.
So guys like
Depending.
Burnley and Everton has a really good chance to move up in the table just because of the fatigueness that the other teams may go through with the other competitions in between.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because Everton's even not. They're knocked out of FA too, right? So
That's right.
They
So
don't even got that.
Exactly. So I can actually see them moving higher because of the disadvantage that the other teams have about competing in other competitions. And believe me, yeah, you can have squads, you have this, you can have that, but at the end, fatigue comes apart, injury might come apart.
Yep.
So, with being positive, hopefully everything goes well for those teams that are competing in other competitions. But I'm not saying Burnley is gonna go. Don't get me wrong. I don't think Burnley is gonna go 6th or 7th
No,
spot.
probably not. It's just they're
gonna
a place
secure
at the
their
table
spot.
where if you're going to be talking about other teams in that spot,
Yep.
going,
Yeah.
you kind of got to lump them into
They're
the
gonna
group.
secure their spot. But the ones I would be looking out for, if anybody on that from the 4th spot to the 11th, if there's 3 teams that I would look out for, okay, that are dangerous to make it to the top 5, are Sheffield, because of there are no other competitions ahead of them, Everton, and the other one is, where was it? And then Chelsea, because Chelsea is guaranteed to be there. The reason why I say it, because after the next game of Champions League, that's it. Maybe FA Cup right now on the weekend, coming up with Liverpool.
Yeah, and they're starting to get people back. Like they got Alonso back. They're going to be
On
getting
the 3rd, I believe they play Liverpool,
Yeah.
and if that doesn't go well for them, and I don't know how it's gonna go, but
That'll
if
be the day Liverpool will lose.
they can lose, but it's not in Champions League. I mean, Premier League, so whatever. And you know what? I don't know. I know Klopp is crazy, man. This guy, I don't know what he's gonna do. He might play the kids again and give him a chance. Who knows?
Oh yeah.
Not all squad, but I think that guys like Milner will get a chance to play. Origi, he might even put the goalkeeper.
Adrian.
So like these guys, I think they might get a chance. Maybe he'll put solid defense, Gomez or something, just to or Lovren maybe back in the line or something. But I think I don't think he's gonna put a hard squad on completely. He might put like Salah, you know, just to put
You might have
boost the
some of them on the
striker.
bench there or something too.
Yeah, you know, but I don't know if he's gonna. And then, you know what? I like the Jones kid for Liverpool, so they might do. He's pretty decent, so he might do well. And
You know, it's actually a tough call for club because after this game week and next game week, Liverpool will be confirmed champions for Premier League. But you wouldn't want to bench all these players because people like Allison, he still want to get his golden gloves.
yeah,
So you don't want to bench him. People like Salah, he still want to keep his tally for goals up because he wants to get the golden boot. You know what I mean? So you will still have to put those guys because they want to. This is
Yeah.
a personal award for them. It's not for a team.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
And,
So-
I don't see the fan base wanting them to just roll over in Chelsea
No.
and play. You know,
No.
there's a bit of hatred between those two.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So you think? Okay, we're not there yet. Okay,
No.
we're not there yet. Let's go back to finish up this
Yeah, we still got one
Alright.
more game in this match
Yeah.
week to review, right?
review. No, well that's Liverpool. There you go. That's next one. Okay, so we
Yeah.
got over these beautiful goals. Xhaka had a nice cross in for Arsenal. Let's don't forget that kid is brilliant as a full left back.
Yep.
Do you guys think that?
Absolutely.
So few things. If Arsenal does not resign Aubameyang, I gotta tell you, if they don't get European spot, I think they're screwed. I don't think there's a replacement for that fella.
I don't think Aubameyang will leave. I don't really think.
I think he's a star there, right?
Yeah,
No?
I
but
think so.
but they have to make at least Europa. Because if they don't make Europa, guys, and if they don't win Europa, Aubameyang will not stick around. I just can't see. Or Arsenal might just say, you know what, hey, I know we're not doing well, but here's a lot of money. Because actually, without Aubameyang, he's legit the only guy that puts. I mean, he's a striker. Don't get me wrong. That's what his job is. But he's the only guy that puts balls in the net. If you take away Aubameyang's goals, okay, if you take just that guy's goals away from the actual team, where would they be on the table?
Yeah, they'd be in trouble. I'm sure that
If the best, those guys would be maybe the best at like top 10.
I get
Like
your
10.
point. It's. I think
At
it's
the
very,
best.
I think it's very clear for sure. Aubameyang is a key player for Arsenal.
Because let's be honest, Pepe hasn't been impressive the whole season.
No, like I
No way.
said, the same. No. So that one.
Yeah.
That one.
Who is that?
But no, I think building the contingency is why they recalled Eddie Nketiah from Leeds there on the loan
Yeah.
there, and they've been playing
Yeah.
him. And he's only like a 20-year-old, so he's going to have some growing to go.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I'll see Lacazette play for Norwich next year. I'm just kidding, though.
No, for
I
sure.
mean, you never know, right?
Anything can happen.
jeez.
This season wasn't actually his season for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know how many goals he got this season. I know he struggled with a couple injuries here and there, but regardless, it's not
But
enough.
I'm telling you, without
not enough.
Aubameyang, that team is done.
I don't think Aubameyang will leave Arsenal. I know.
I like to see Martinelli play a little more play time next year.
yeah,
You know-
he's
you know what I'm
looked-
talking about,
He's
that-
looked good when I've watched him.
Yeah.
He's actually a decent
Yeah.
kid, right? Like he's young, he's probably ambitious. Like what I see in the FA Cup games that they played, and
Well, what Mikel Arteta is doing with Arsenal, I think there's hope for a lot of young players in Arsenal. You know, Nketiah is there, Martinelli is there, Saka is there, and there are a lot of, 19-year-old, 20, 21, whatever there. And they're actually performing. They're doing a lot of work there. And I think with the new management, the new manager, whatever, he's going to give, good opportunity for the young kids. Give them one more season or two seasons, they'll be able to blend and, go top to the full of their potential or whatever, right? But so far, I think they still need that experience, in the sport. They need the experience of people like Aubameyang to blend those young kids. They need the experience of people like Xhaka. I know Xhaka had a very big controversial whatever with the fans or whatnot, but he is a key player in that central role. You know what I
agree,
mean?
yeah.
So these are the people that you will have to keep in the team because you can't do it alone. Ozil have to be in there. He's old. I know he's slow.
but he's actually creative.
But
Like
that's
the
what
last
I mean.
couple games.
So these are the ones that will help those young kids actually come to their full potential. So Arsenal will have to do a lot to keep those big stars, the big names or whatever, or those experienced players for them to be able to blend the young kids.
So we're on topic of Arsenal, but what about Everton? Do you see them? Do you see them actually playing Europa football? Maybe not this season, but in the upcoming couple years. I think Ancelotti has to.
I think Ancelotti. I'm not gonna take a credit away from him. He is a very good manager. Okay.
No, for sure, yeah.
For sure, he is a very good manager, and I know for sure he has a good plan. My problem is number one is would there be enough money for him to go into the transfer window and get players?
Yeah, that is that is a good one, yeah.
Number two, will he be able to buy decent players that would take them to Europa competition? That's the thing. How many players out there in Europe will actually allow, come down to Everton? Let's be real.
So, like, I did notice one of the first things that Ancelotti changed in the Everton is their defense.
Oh yeah, he made a couple changes on the defense as well.
Yeah, like defensively, he brought back Mina.
Yeah.
And actually, I think Mina is a solid defender.
He is good.
I think he's a solid defender. He makes a difference. He makes runs up on the line. He comes back, and I like their formation that they're playing too. Lately, they've been doing the 4-4-2. So depending on the games, obviously, but they've been playing really decent. And I think even their last 10 results prior to the Arsenal loss, I think they had no losses.
Yeah, Everton seems to be doing better in the set pieces too lately. Like I know they scored a corner goal, the Richarlison goal you're talking about. That was off a corner. Yeah, and I saw them against Watford a couple weeks ago where they scored 2 goals off corners.
Yeah, they're getting more aggressive, and I think that's part of confidence too, right? Like becoming confident under the management. They feel that their squad has like a better connection or whatnot. I like to see where they go next year. I think they're going to be more competitive next year from the beginning of the season. It seems like that only since Ancelotti came in is where they're actually putting up a fight. So
yeah, well, Ancelotti will want a summer period for sure to kind of put his stamp on the team, and I don't think they're getting to Europe next year. I think but they'll contend in next season's Premier League for.
Well, do you think
spot.
They have what they currently have in the team? Do you think those boys have what it takes to take them Europa competition? They have decent players. Let's not forget that, okay? Because sometimes we kind of get distracted with the so-called big names. Everton actually spend money and they have decent players. If you start from the defense down to the attack, they actually have decent players. And I think with good management and whatever that they can get that team to Europe competition. I can see where they fall, where they kind of fall asleep in defense, one or two, couple changes that they can make. But up there in the front, I think they have what it takes. They don't have. I don't think Sheffield United, for example, have a better squad than Everton.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see what you mean, but it's.
So where I'm going with this is we have to, or the manager have to beat out the best out of these boys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There is a lot that is expected of them. They have to put up that fight. What the team currently have, I think they have the potential to get themselves to either.
Yeah,
okay? Wolves doesn't have a better squad than what Everton has, if you want to go by name.
Yeah,
I can see them in a different. Yeah, I see them in the same level. I agree with you.
Leicester City also doesn't have a big name more than what Everton currently have, and Everton even spend more money more than what Leicester City spend.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it comes down to discipline. It comes down to character. Okay, when those boys are not actually playing to their full potential, the manager had to go back and push.
Or get rid of somebody that's poison in the squad. So if there's a rotten apple somewhere, then find it and get rid of it. Don't rotten the rest of the team.
Yeah.
I mean, and it sounds bad. I know I get that, but the contracts are contract. It's really hard to do it. It seems easy to talk about it, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
nowadays, players' rights and all that comes apart. So who knows? All right, I think we are done with the game week 27. It was a decent week. We do have a challenging week coming up because FA Cup comes apart. There's some postponed games that we're gonna be seeing, like Aston Villa Sheffield is gonna be postponed, and City and Arsenal game is postponed. But we'll give our prediction regardless. Yep. I don't know when the dates are announced yet over here, but we'll go from there. And then, what's your thoughts on, for example, Friday they're playing, and Norwich at home versus Leicester. Your thoughts on the game?
I think this should be the game where Leicester get their groove back. You know, they've been struggling lately. It would be nice for them if they could get Vardy on the score sheet and get him going again. This should be the slump buster.
Oh, that's gonna be a win for Leicester, and I think they will go home with a clean sheet and 3 points. That's gonna be.
I agree. Unfortunately, as much as I would love to see Norwich put up a fight, but I just can't see it. So I agree with you guys. It's Leicester City will take that, and so it's Leicester all unanimous. Unanimous.
Yeah.
Leicester. All right.
Yeah.
Leicester
Next one, Brighton and Crystal Palace.
The Premier League's weirdest rivalry. These two teams don't like each other for some reason.
Yeah, you were mentioning that. What's the reason behind that?
Well, apparently it goes back to like the 70s or something like that. Like I've heard Roy Hodgson talk about growing up in the 60s, and they didn't give a damn about Brighton then. But in the 70s, they had some matches, some FA Cup matches, and they had a couple of managers that didn't like each other, and it's apparently just been building since. And there's some videos on YouTube trying to explain why Brighton and Crystal Palace hate each other, even though they're like 75 miles apart.
So, what's your thoughts on the game? Who's gonna win it?
Brighton is at home. They're good at home, and
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, as a proper Charlton Athletic backer, I cannot back Palace in anything. So yeah, Brighton.
I give it to Brighton.
I do too. Unanimous.
Absolutely.
Unanimous.
Yeah.
All right, might backbite us, but I think it's Brighton. So, all right, Bournemouth at home against Chelsea. I think we all know the winner in this.
Chelsea's.
I don't know about that. Bournemouth beat them earlier when they played in Week 17. And Bournemouth smoked them last year 4-0 at Chelsea.
Oh.
Bournemouth might be a bogey team for these guys.
The Bournemouth that played last year.
Oh, King is back, eh?
King is back.
King is back.
But I don't think they will pull out a win from that game. The best Bournemouth can get from that game will be a tie. But for all 3 points, I won't give it to Bournemouth. I think my prediction, I will go with a tie for that game. I will. I'll go with a tie for that game.
Are you serious?
Yeah, 100%. I'll go with a tie for that game.
The Chelsea needs the win, though, man. They've been
course
dropping
they
the
do.
last couple of games.
I know they need it.
Of course, they
All
need
right,
the win.
you know what? What are you saying? Bournemouth?
I'm going to go Bournemouth, yeah.
Bournemouth?
I'm going with a tie. Yeah.
I'm going Chelsea. Remember this. Okay?
All right.
I'm going with a tie
right.
for the game.
All right. Aston Villa and Sheffield is postponed because of the FA Cup, but what's your thoughts? Aston Villa's home. Sheffield's coming to visit. They do know each other from Championship coming up. They do have complete different results this year in the Premier League on their performance and their points.
Yeah, well, they'll reschedule it later. Villa's got to go to Wembley this weekend, so we'll see. But as I said earlier,
I think Sheffield's going to take it.
I think Sheffield will take it.
They need it and they want it, and I think I actually don't think Sheffield will drop much points till the end of the season, and I'm talking about like losing games points.
I could see that.
I could see literally pull off win, like the tough games are like tie, but I actually think these guys are going to pull off games. I'm going for Sheffield.
I'll go with Sheffield.
I'll go like with a draw here, but like I said, that could change by the time the game fixtures actually played.
All right. So, Newcastle, Burnley. Newcastle's home. Burnley's coming.
That's gonna be.
Burnley's been.
Burnley's been in good form.
That's gonna be a win for Burnley.
Yeah,
that's gonna be. A win.
You know what? And they're super good with set pieces.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. Burnley should be a win.
Chris Wood's back in fitness as well. Although
and you gotta remember,
guy's been playing.
You gotta remember, Lazaro got the card too, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Right.
Again.
So that's gonna be a Newcastle burn on the back for them big time.
Yep.
So we'll see what the replacement is gonna be. I can't think what they're gonna come up with. That's been consistently playing anybody to replace Lazaro. So it's gonna be a tough one. I think they might actually just feel the mistake that he did on that Crystal Palace game, right?
That's exactly what I said. It was a stupid decision by Lazaro.
Yeah. Burnley it is, I agree.
Yeah, they will pay
unanimous or what?
Yeah, we're unanimous.
Yeah.
All right, Burnley wins. Okay.
All right.
West Ham at home versus Southampton. I think this is the chance when West Ham will win.
West Ham beat them in December whenever they played, and but it was back whenever Pellegrini was still managing them, and
They need the win.
They
like
need
these
to
guys
win
really
bad.
need a win.
Yeah.
Although Southampton played beautiful on the weekend.
oh, so
I
this
don't know. I don't know how I feel about the game. Shane Long is there. Danny Ings is there. Ward Prowse is there.
Or
I
you
don't know.
You have anybody in fantasy league?
I don't
All right.
I'm just saying.
Okay,
that
then you saying Southampton, the Saints? You going for Saints?
I will go with the Saints.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Saints too. I'm
Yeah.
thinking West Ham might have a letdown.
Unreal.
I think the
right.
Saints actually have
I gotta tell you,
opportunity.
I personally think West Ham is probably gonna get regulated, but Southampton is better form. But I really think they need a win. So I have no idea what they're gonna do. But anyway, let's just say I'm going for West Ham because I want them to at least win. Make the bottom table competitive.
I worry that there's going to be a letdown after the Liverpool matchup last week with West Ham. That
Yeah.
the same thing that happened in Norwich against.
They might
Wolves.
get a little bit of okay. So the West Ham had a little bit. I think there was a little confidence built there. They seemed to maybe like even though they lost at the end, but it was a close game, man. It was they had Liverpool actually, go to their back pocket to try to pull out the win, and then they actually pretty lucky to pull away that win.
Absolutely. Yep.
The performance wise was great and everything, but you've seen it all the time. Defensively, West Ham did decent, but they just fall apart, and they were winning twice in the game.
Yeah.
1-0, then it went to 1-1, and then it was
they went up
2-1
again,
again,
2-1.
and then that was it, and they fall asleep after. So if they can't do it with Southampton, which I think they have a better chance than against Liverpool they ever did, and I think they could they actually could pull this game off. So I'm going for a West Ham, and you two are going for Saints.
I will stay with the Saints.
Yeah,
Saints?
me
I
too.
will
Just-
say.
All right, good for you. All right, Watford home against Liverpool.
Sorry, Elton John, but I think Liverpool takes this one.
I'm not feeling sorry for him. All right. So, my thoughts on this.
Oh, come on. I think we all know what
right.
this game is
Yeah.
going to be.
NYWA all the way. So it is-
The Google I saw has got Liverpool at 66% chance of winning this game, which I think is kind of low.
Yeah.
66?
Yeah.
Holy moly. I think every time Liverpool played them, they had the highest score in Premier League season with them. But again, you never know. It could be that one time that, I don't know, Watford decides to, hey, you know what, actually we want to stick around and man.
Well, that's the thing with Liverpool is that everybody's going to be given their A game at Liverpool from here on out as long as they.
Oh, yeah, because there's few things, right? The big talk about the undefeated season. The big talk about the only team that beating them the season when they are winning the league, right? The other big talk right now is, they're the only ones that, hey, they can actually beat that defense.
I think for sure, we know, like we looked at or whatever, Liverpool is going to take the win. But if Watford will learn from the mistake that they made last week against Manchester United, they will definitely challenge Liverpool for that game.
And that's the thing. A lot of clubs are parking the bus now, and then they're just doing the counter-attack. And at some point, I think Liverpool just gets tired of constantly going up. And then there's a point where I think you're just like, okay, another team that parks the bus, another team that parks the bus. And I think it just gets fatigue also on the players.
Well, the
game doesn't change, right?
You have to look at who your opponents are. You can't go full attack against Liverpool because that's their system, right? So you got to stay back. Once you get that opportunity to counter-attack, then you come all out. And once you get that goal, there you go. You build
Look
the
for
wall.
gaps in the line,
You know what
maybe,
I mean?
or opening spaces, and make
And
it happen.
if they will show up for the game,
The only thing about Watford, do they have any speed to actually challenge Liverpool?
absolutely they do.
The only
They do.
Who?
The problem they have is just there is no character. I think they've kind of given up.
I think Watford, the only chance they have is like set pieces,
They do have that set
like
pieces,
corners,
okay?
set pieces, something like that, right?
They do have that set pieces. I agree. Okay, Dakore can make some pretty good strikes. He can actually cross the
Doucouré,
ball.
okay.
Okay, I can go with Dakore. If Defoe will actually show up for the game, he can actually make some pretty good. He's pretty good with the ball.
I think that's a 3-0 win for Liverpool.
Liverpool
I
is
think
not.
so.
Liverpool is not gonna get a clean sheet from that ball.
So in that game, okay, tough one.
Liverpool is gonna go home with the win, but it's not gonna be a clean sheet.
All right, what's your thoughts?
I think
Liverpool?
Watford will get a goal. I'll go with Liverpool, but not a clean
You?
sheet.
I'm seeing 2-0 Liverpool.
All right, I say 3-0. We're actually predicting, like, we're giving goal predictions and everything. All right, so City, Arsenal, once it gets announced when it's going to be because of the FA Cup, it is postponed.
Yeah.
That's going to be a really interesting game because that's the first head-to-head with
Arteta coming back to the
Arteta,
city.
Arteta,
right? You know what I mean? And it's at City, so it's like, woohoo!
That'll be an
That is a
interesting
game
That's
to
it.
watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guarantee you, he is gonna challenge Pepe. He wants to show everybody in the world
100%.
that, hey, I was the brain of this squad.
Absolutely.
You know, I think he's
Absolutely.
gonna want to make a noise. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because I really believe strongly that, you know, it's also, you know, a lot of guys in the background doesn't get the credit.
Yep.
Right? Like
Yeah.
the guy gets the credit is, you know, you get always see Klopp or always see like Pepe or you always see Mourinho or Ole, you know, but there's actually guys behind there.
Oh, absolutely.
Actually
there's
doing
always
way
men
more of the
behind
work.
the men, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
way more the work that are actually, you know, it's always come down to the start line, right? The start line does everything all the way up, and those are the guys actually that they review stuff. They do the grind work to get to, you know, to see where the issues or the problems are and
Absolutely.
bring it out and
Yeah.
change the structure that they have or issues that they have, right? So I really think that, you know, it'd be nice to, and you know, here's another one. See, I think Arsenal will have an advantage because Arteta he knows how Pep plays. He knows how Pep's thinking is. He knows how Pep's. However, I don't think Pep knows what Arteta's strategy is completely because he was ahead behind Pepe, but Pepe wasn't the head behind of Arteta.
Okay, I see.
So
I see where you're going. Yeah.
so him coming to Pepe, I think Pepe has more warriors than actually. Even though the squad of Arsenal I know is not as good, but I think he has a little bit of advantage because he knows how Pep thinks. He knows what Pep does when it comes to, you know, when it comes to the play, like how he oversees the play, you know.
I'm curious to see.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, I know where you go. I know where you go.
I know that Arsenal's not the squad, like it's not as good a squad as like City, but it'd be something to see if how Arteta does with that squad against City.
No, I see. I see where you're going. I think it's gonna be an interesting game. So far from what I've seen in Arsenal, that's a little bit of Guardiola in Arsenal now. You know what I mean? Cause
See, I don't want to call it Guardiola. It's I think again comes back to him, Arteta. It's actually the guys behind Pep.
It's a team
Pep
effort.
gets the credit,
He
right?
gets
the credit.
But hold on a second. When you go back to Guardiola from Barcelona,
I know, but Barcelona was already made at the time.
yeah, but that game plan has always been his game. Even when he went to Bayern Munich, okay, it has always been his game. And he came down to Man City. He brought the same game. Now, Arteta now took up a club, Arsenal, and you can see a bit of Guardiola in his plan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know who actually shared the brain, but at the end of the day, I think it's gonna be a very interesting game for sure.
All right. I go for you know what? Let's give City a loss. So Arsenal. I'm sorry. I think City's a better team. Okay, don't get me wrong.
The City will take
But
it.
I want to see if Arteta will try to challenge Pep, and I don't know. For some reason I feel like Arsenal might do it.
I will give it to City.
All right. Okay.
What do you think, Benny?
Yeah. Well, you know, we'll see when it gets played. But right now, I'd say City. I still think they got the chip on the shoulder.
Yeah,
over
I'll give
everything.
it to City. I will. I'll give it to City.
Unreal. All right. All right. All right. Everton United.
Big game for both sides.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think United will take that.
United's been in good
so.
form ever since the Fernandes signing.
Yeah, and I
I can see this guy's getting a little nervous here right now. It's
Yeah.
hearing everybody
No,
getting these.
We go into Goodison Park, guys. That's gonna be a very tough game for Manchester United.
I still think United will take it.
Yeah, well, in recent years, Everton has not done well against the Big Six, which has been why they've not been able to break into Europe.
Yeah, and
It's been their Achilles heel.
I mean, results speaks for itself, right? I mean, so I still think United will take it, but you know what? I'm probably wrong, but I with the squad that they have, and I think that they should be winning the game. However, Everton is going to put up a fight because we talked about the only 4 points.
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
4 points behind only United. No, 5. Sorry, 5 points behind United to European spot. So which is United sending at 5th spot right now at 41 and Everton at 36. So let's be honest, it's 5 points. They probably want that win really badly.
Oh, they definitely want the win really badly. And
But I'm going for United regardless because also United knows if they lose, then obviously they're much more. They're risking their chances to the European spot at least.
absolutely.
Right?
every fixture is so important.
Exactly, like we mentioned, from
With
the
way
11th
how
spot to the
tight
4th.
everything is, yeah.
Yeah. Next one, Spurs and Wolves. Excuse me.
Well, I've read some articles that say that Aurier and Ali might be back for this one,
Yeah. They
which
will.
would be a big help for Tottenham as they've been
Also-
struggling to come up with goals.
Also, Kane is training, so
Wolves.
that could
Wolves.
happen.
Wolves.
And Wolverhampton is, of course, going to be coming off of that mid-table, off the Europe
Wolves are
game on
taking
Thursday.
it. I can't hear you. What? Sorry. Wolves are taking it. I think Wolves are gonna take it. There's no striker in that team, guys. You guys gotta remember that.
Well, Ali is coming back.
Who?
Dele Alli.
Who's that?
Dele Alli is coming back, and there's possibility.
Lala Lili. What?
There is possibility that Kane will be back.
I
But I'll,
want
I'll give it to Wolves.
Mourinho will.
I'll give it to Wolves.
Woo! Change their mind.
Hey, you're not
I'm
that
telling you.
persuasive, though, Mr. K. I got to say Tottenham. I think they'll hold
Remember,
home form.
I'll
Wolves
give it to
1
Wolves.
point behind Spurs. Okay.
Yeah. Tottenham
They
beat them
need
at the
to push him.
Molineux there in December.
They
I
need to
think-
push him, and Wolves want to be at 42 points, which will, if United don't do well, okay? If United don't do well, if Spurs don't do well, obviously because Wolves are playing them, then they have a chance to probably bump themselves up. And remember, Sheffield has a quite easy game, I guess you want to call it, with Aston Villa, so which will give them a chance to be in the 5th spot, actually, back to there, So these guys gonna want it, and Wolves want it. They want the European spot. They want that, and I think they're gonna push that. So I'm going for it, and I think Spurs are not. They don't have any. I don't think Ali Deli is enough. I don't think Ali Deli is enough.
I think Tottenham's going to, they're going to want to play better after the last performance. And Wolves is coming off the continent this Thursday, whereas Tottenham are going to have a full week. I see Tottenham winning this.
That's a
Do you
tough
have a
one.
fever by any chance?
That's a tough one. Trust me,
Okay.
that's a tough one.
Mourinho. All right.
Because you gotta also think of it. Wolves also will play Europa League.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Which
So
they
Spurs
don't-
playing Champions League.
No,
Yeah, but Spurs played
but-
last week.
Absolutely, which gives these guys they don't have enough time to actually recover from the Europa League that they'll be playing
Okay,
today.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they're playing in Spain today.
They are playing in Spain today, which they are already losing, or they already lost the game. Okay, because I know Espanyol was up by 3 goals against 2. So those are the same key players that are playing Europa League today that will be playing against Tottenham. So you really think 2 days is gonna be enough for them to come back to the game and play against Spurs?
Good point. But
So-
I'm still going for Wolves. Okay. I still think that Wolves are just guys, man. Diego Jota, they got Jimenez, they got. I don't know, man. Like the squad is just looks solid versus Spurs right now.
I know what you're saying. I know where you're coming from.
Like Mourinho can. I don't like. I think he's gonna park the bus. I think. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna be. Okay, I'm gonna. No, Wolves. That's it. No, I was gonna say tie, but no, it's Wolves. That's it. Done. Finish. Wolves for me. You.
I already said Tottenham. I already kind of made that case.
I'll give you Wolves.
All right, Wolves it is. Wolves, Spurs. Thanks, guys, again for the whole for coming out and joining for the podcast. We'll hopefully to see you again, and we'll get you guys on for like the next game weeks coming up or whatnot. And thanks, guys, for viewing our videos. It's been a pleasure to see people liking our videos, our Spotify page as well, and listening to us on Spotify and Instagram. Any questions or any comments, please drop in a box. Again, this is Matchday Podcast. Evans, thank you for coming. Benny, thank you for coming.
It's been a pleasure.
Say hi to them.
Peace out, boys.
Thanks, guys. See you next round.